Anything with the courts is intensely stressful, and I'm gonna make a hot take. Going through a court case is more stressful than being raped. Don't do it if you can avoid it. So I feel like the people that are saying based get it and understand how stressful the court case is, and the people that are saying, "What are you saying, Kelly?" do not get it. The emotional turmoil that goes along with dealing with if you're doing for a criminal case, especially dealing with the police, the rigmarole that is, then having to have every tiny detail of what happened drug up constantly for years, by the way. Like, court cases take like 2 years on average in the UK to go to court, right? And then if you lose, imagine how fucking soul destroying that is. Like, I would just kill yourself.
Kelly's 100% right. I don't know why you would disagree with her there. That's like one of the most obvious takes in the world. If you think rape sucks and if you think rape is bad, then the court case is almost by definition going to be worse, because then it's just going to be reliving that over and over and over and over and over again, and now having to fight it and choose it or defend it in court and everything. Obviously, yeah, she didn't even give a bad take. You guys are just primed to hate Kelly, which is fine. We can hate Kelly, but that doesn't mean you should just like think every single thing she says is wrong. So don't report. No, you should report it. Just know that that's a really difficult process to go through. Okay, a court case about your rape, sure, but wasn't she just saying court in general? Do you really think that's what she's saying? Do you think Kelly's saying going to court for a parking ticket is worse than getting raped? Or do you think that she was saying going to court for your rape is probably worse than the rape itself? It sounded like that to me. She literally said that. That was literally her point? No, it sounds like her point literally was going to court for your rape is...
I'm gonna make a hot take. Going through a court case is more stressful than being... Don't do it if you can avoid it. So I feel like the people that are saying based get it and understand how stressful the court case is, and the people that are saying, "What are you saying, Kelly?" do not get it. The emotional turmoil that goes along with dealing with if you're doing for a criminal case, especially dealing with the police, the rigmarole that is, then having to have every tiny detail of what happened drug up constantly for years, by the way. Like, court cases take like 2 years.
You guys are doing the thing. Oh my God, you guys are doing the thing. Oh my God, everybody does the thing. Everybody does the thing, and you guys are doing the thing. I don't know how to help you overcome the thing. I don't know how to overcome the thing. Destiny, she says a court case. Yes, those were the words that she said. But I'm pretty sure that, like, in general, what she's talking about...
average in the UK to go to court, right? Well, that is. Then having to have every tiny detail of what happened drug up constantly for years, by the way. Like, court cases take like 2 years on average in the UK to go to court, right? And then if you lose, imagine how fucking soul destroying that is. Like, I would just kill yourself.
Why would it be soul-destroying to lose any random court case? She's obviously talking about going to court for something as stressful as a rape is probably worse than the rape itself. Now, I don't know if she would actually stand by that. She might be hyperbolizing a bit, but it's not even really that much of hyperbole if it is. It's pretty obvious what's being talked about here. Just because she said, like, a court case, that's obviously not what... She doesn't just mean any random fucking court case. Keep listening. She gives a specific example.
You can, like, get therapy and you can see a psychiatrist to deal with, like, the private issues you have being... But once you go to court, it's just the whole world giving their 2 cents on something. It fucking sucks. And if you haven't either been through a court case or had a close family member go through a court case, like a close family member of mine shot and killed someone like forcibly entering their home. So because that's the UK, I had to go to court. It was 2 years for them to just say, yeah, you're innocent. Right? So it's very stressful.
I understand it's stressful.
She literally just reaffirmed that if you go to court for et cetera, it's horrible. And then she's giving a personal example. Well, I had a family member that went to court, and that took 2 years. She's just reinforcing the idea that it's a long and arduous process, but she's not saying that going to court for anything is worse than getting raped. But it's not. Yeah, because she probably didn't have a personal example of somebody who got raped going to court. She said any court case at the start of the clip. I don't care if she said the word any court case or a court case. It is painfully obvious what she's actually talking about.
Because I think it's important to get people's names on the record.
I'm not discouraging from it. But unless you've got like a kit or you have some circumstantial evidence is really strong, it's she versus him. It almost never even goes to court. Like 99% of it's because it's just word versus word. It's a really harsh thing to put yourself through unless you've got like some strong evidence.
It's just like so painfully obvious what's being talked about here. You think that? So just to be clear, for the people on the opposite of this, you think that what Kelly was saying, intended to say, was applying that going through any court case is worse than getting raped. That's what you're going with in your head.
Is above on one of the counts that she's alleging, I guess.
Oh, damn. As much as I would like the money back for all my medical shit, I would not put myself through this. Anything with the courts is intensely stressful, and I'm gonna make a hot take. Going through a court case is more stressful than being raped. Don't do it if you can avoid it. Jesus. Anyway, continue.
Wait, just real quick, Kendrick Lama.
No, that's a knuckle dragger point, but you're going to say you can quantify the stress of both and say going to court to prosecute your rapist is obviously worse than the actual rape, really? Depending on, maybe. But that's not even like the important thing to stress over. idea that the interpretation is she's saying that literally going to court for anything at all is worse than getting raped is such a retarded point. Do I really want to go? She's discouraging women from taking their rapist to court and instead just working on it and their end through therapy because going to court is painful. Isn't it bad to discourage women from actually holding their... No, okay. Oh my God. I don't want to do the discourse, okay? We've enough, okay, on the stream. Okay. There's just two things going on that you need to be aware of, okay? One is if you can hold a rapist accountable, you should always try and hold a rapist accountable, okay? That's always a good thing. It's always a good thing to hold a rapist accountable if you can do that, number one, okay? But number two, okay, going to court for is really, 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 really hard. And a lot of people just discount that process, okay? Oh, you got just take him to court. Lol. First of all, you don't get to take him to court. Technically, that doesn't even fucking mean anything. You don't get to choose to take somebody to court for a criminal matter. You have to go to a police station. You have to do a kit. You need to give their story. They need to decide if they even have enough evidence to bring charges. If they bring charges, well, now every single thing about your rape, and by the way, all your worst fears about the rape are now going to be proven 100% in a court of law that is stacked against you, okay? Maybe it was your fault that you got fucking raped. Maybe that you actually did consent and you didn't realize it. Maybe, because guess what? When you go into that criminal courtroom, they're not going to prove whether or not you had consensual sex or whether or not you were raped. What they're going to try to prove is if there is beyond a reasonable doubt evidence that this man could be convicted of the crime of rape. So you need to accept that it might be the fact that you got raped, but every single person on that jury is going to disagree with you. But like, you know, you live with it, right? Now, again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't hold accountable. I think you should. I think a lot of them aren't, and it's really tragic. And I think people should talk about this stuff more. But I'm just saying that, like, to be like, oh, well, like, going to court for like, blah, blah, blah. That could be, that whole process can extend so much further out and can arguably be more traumatic depending on what's involved than even the event itself. That's all I'm saying, okay? Jesus. At Destiny, I can't think of anything grosser than someone who has already been raped and knows who did it and won't even try. They are allowing him to blank someone else and have them deal with the same shit. Sure, maybe, but then the question is, like, is it that person's responsibility to, like, do they need... never mind, I can't do this. Never mind. I don't want to get triggered over this. Listen, you're right. Kelly's wrong and based. And Kelly was telling people... I just listened to Kelly for 3 minutes talk about how nobody should report ever. That's what I heard Kelly say. Anybody else? Eyes in chat. Destiny, what's your take? Would you say it should be done to hold them accountable, or would you generally advise against it? I think that if you do get important things to do would be to get it immediately, to get some sort of like evidence of you like talking to people about it immediately, where you're telling the same story. Go to a police station as soon as possible. Like, these are probably the important steps to do. Don't wait, because if you wait, you're like conflicting statements to friends and shit. Don't do that, or tweet out shit or whatever. You could get like, yeah. Yes, it's hard. I would never say that it's not hard, but to say or frame that it's objectively worse is kind of a dog shit statement. That could be your opinion, but to say this is an open forum is dumb, and I can say you're dumb for that take. The problem with, I don't want to do it. I don't want to get into it. I just don't want to do it. If somebody beats the shit out of you, okay, recounting or talking about that experience or going to court over that experience is kind of whatever, because it's like you don't really have doubts about what happened, and nobody's really making you doubt what happened, okay? Somebody beat the shit out of you. It's not good. It's never good. Nobody's going to claim it's good. Did you want that person to beat the shit out of you? Did they actually beat the shit out of you, or were you guys like mutually play fight? Like, no, it's just like a thing, right? One of the things that makes so annoying and traumatic and horrible to deal with is not only the event itself, but it's also everyone around you response to the event and the way that their responses make you feel. Depending on the thing, and there are a lot of variables at play here, okay, where sometimes it's going to be true, sometimes it's not. Sometimes the people's responses around you and the way that everybody else treats you sometimes can amplify and make it a billion times worse. In that, like, if you've got a person who is raped and, you know, the first response to friends and family is, holy shit, this is horrible, like, what can we do to help? Or do we go to a police station? Blah, 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 blah. Like, that's one thing. But firstly, if you get raped, in most situations, especially because most aren't like dark alley fucking rapes, most rapes are like date things or pressure from friends or shit like that, right? If you get raped in this way, you're already a little bit mind-fucked, okay? Because you're not 100% sure. Sometimes, most of the time maybe, it's very rare that you're probably 100% sure that, okay, I was raped, I didn't do anything wrong, that guy was 100% morally in the wrong. This is bullshit, right? You already have some doubts because of the way that sex works, because of maybe what the other guy said, because of maybe the situation you were beforehand. And then you start talking to friends and family, like, well, okay, did he actually rape you? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm actually friends with this guy, blah, blah, blah. Like, dragging all of that shit up in friend groups and family groups is already shitty. Now dragging all of it up for months or years in a court case where now you've got like literally fucking professional rape debaters, right? The defense is going to be arguing against your case. That's just a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of shit. And if the rape was bad, you better believe that the perceived apologia that follows has the potential to be even worse. Because at the very least, like, you can process and get through and everything with rape, but now that it's going to be drug up over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and people are going to guess at you, make you second guess it, because they should be. The defense's goal is to prevent a good defense. So, like, the defense's goal is literally to re-trigger and traumatize the fuck out of you as hard as possible to try to make you think that you didn't actually get raped. It's a lot. That's all I'll say. If you disagree, that's fine. Who cares? Good.